Hey, good morning, Vitality crew. This is Dr. Stacy LaQuire with Vitality Chiropractic. I am wanting to talk about Wellness Month. It is Wellness Month. I mean, every month should probably be Wellness Month, but here we are. So, back in the day, I used to, when I was first out of school and super excited about everything, I would always give a talk for our newer clients in the office, right? We would just kind of bring people in, talk about health, kind of shift people's ideas. Now, this was before podcasts and the topic of wellness really being everywhere, right, around us, if you're looking for it, I guess. And so I just wanted to get people thinking a little differently maybe about their health. And it was a short class, but one of the concepts that we used for wellness was the DREAM concept. So D being diet, R being rest, E being exercise and movement, A being adjustments, we are chiropractors, and M being mental, our mental health, our mental state, our mood, that kind of thing. So DREAM. Okay, so when we talk to clients now, we talk about how, hey, we can really help you with that structure part of things and that function by helping, your spine be mobile and, that nervous system be functioning optimally. And so, that's what we can help with. And of course, we want people to be involved in that as well with some movement-based exercise and stretching and just, mobility, basically. And but what we can't do is follow people around the rest of the 99.999% of their lives and see what's happening. And of course, that makes a big difference in how far people can go in their health. From where they might be to where their goals are, is going to take some lifestyle stuff too, right? How we live every day makes a huge difference, obviously. And so, here's the thing about this too, is that we don't always have to be perfect at all those things, right? Not even close, but we can take a look at hey, where, if we had a scale of 0 to 10 and you took all those things, how am I doing with my diet? How am I doing with my rest or my sleep? How am I doing with my exercise? How's my structure and function? And could I benefit from some chiropractic care to keep me moving and mobile and feeling good? And then how are we coping with our mood and with our mental state? Are we stressed? And, we could rank all those, and then you could take you could optimize your best one, or you could maybe try to bring up the rear. I mean, there's a lot of ways that you could look at that. And of course, a little bit of everything is not a bad idea either. But right now, I would say that mine is probably mood, just this, the everyday stuff that we should cope with probably a little better than I do sometimes, is really where I'm at. Okay, I really need to work on that. But then I'll start to find that, okay, maybe my diet slipped a little bit, and that is only going to play into that mood piece too, because of how we eat, how we sleep, big one, affects our mood too, right? So they kind of all weave together. And there are tools for each and every one of those. So there are ways to just make small changes in our diet. 73% of the American diet is made of ultra processed food. So that's a good place to start. Just hey, I'm gonna cut back. Now, ultra processed food, generally speaking, is going to be that stuff that has a long shelf life or has more than 5 ingredients, which is a lot of stuff, right? Now, do I eat ultra processed food? I try not to eat a ton of it, but I'll tell you what, if I grab an energy bar, that's an ultra processed food, right? So we have those things for convenience sometimes, but if we're finding that that's making up the most of our diet, then we are definitely at a higher risk for obesity and diabetes and cancer and all those things that we want to avoid. So we need to look at that, right? We need to look at how our body, our blood sugar, are we eating, fiber and fat and, just a lot of really good, colorful foods to just really even out that blood sugar. That's a place to start. So we don't always have to take away. I think sometimes people think with health, it's I'm going to deprive myself. I'm going to take away from my sleep in order to exercise. I'm going to take away from what I like to eat in order to be healthier. But in reality, sometimes we can just add some things, just start adding things in and see where that lands us. So I love learning about this stuff. I listen to quite a few different podcasts just to see what's new, what's coming up. if anybody's interested, I can certainly share some of those. One that I really love is called the Model Health Show. It covers a lot of topics, and it covers a lot of these aspects of wellness. So some of them are very fitness oriented, some of them are mindset, some of them are diet, and very accessible. They're not geared towards health professionals. It's really geared towards anybody and everybody. The Doctor's Pharmacy is another good one, and that is pharmacy with an F. Dr. Mark Hyman, a lot of people know who he is. He's got some good topics. Dishing Up Nutrition. This is a local shout out. This is actually Nutritional Weight and Wellness in the Twin Cities. They have a podcast, really good, just simple tips. You can search anything by like, hey, type 2 diabetes. I want to learn more about how I can maybe manage or reverse that for myself. And you can Google those topics within the podcast and just get some ideas. Drew Purowit has a great podcast. So there's a lot of ways to learn, and I get it that that's not everybody's like hobby that they want to pursue. So of course, if you have questions or you want to know more about something, I don't have all the answers by any means, never will, because it's always changing, but I do try to stay with it a little bit. I try to make those small changes. I slip and fall just like everybody else. I'll skip the gym for longer than I should, whatever it might be. But keep that dream idea in mind and just start to look at, like, maybe take a second, sit down and say, am I a 0 on this or am I 10 on this? And start to just shore up that health and wellness, because honestly, you get one body, right? It's like a car. Okay. If you were taking care of your car, you'd maintain it, you'd, rotate your tires, get your oil changed. Your body does so much more for you than your car, and it's going to be with you longer because you don't get to buy a new one. So, you have to put some time and energy into it if you want it to work for you. And also, when we look around and we see, how people are aging, and we got to look at, do we want to age, like what do we want at the end game? Just like any other goal setting, what do we look forward to, and what do we want 20, 30, 40, 50 years from now? How do we want to be living? Now's the time. Now is the time to plan for that. So I hope that you will take a look at one or two things that you can work with. And of course, if we can help you here at Vitality, we are happy to do so.